Building a house is a bad financial decision, but a good emotional and social decision. My name is Oji Chibuzo Jerry, and welcome to my channel. This is where we talk about everything real estate. We give you good advisory services that is relevant to anything real estate actually. Real estate advisory, brokerage, sales, and all that. Today we are looking at building or buying a house versus renting a house or an apartment. Building a house or owning a home is a bad financial decision, but a good social and emotional decision. Now we want to explore the advantages and disadvantages of buying a house, owning a house to live in, as against renting an apartment. Feel free to drop your suggestions, comments, opinions, so that we can learn together, as well as educate as many people that are not so enlightened about this topic. Now, a lot of people, or there's a wide range of belief, especially in Africa, that one of the yardsticks for measuring success is when you live in your own houses. A house that you have built, or a house that you have bought. So, living in your own house. Now, let's explore the options around living in your own house and renting your own space. Living in your own house is good, very good. You get a lot of comfort and all that. But then, financially, living in your own house is a bad decision, very bad decision. Emotionally, socially, living in your own house is a very good decision. Now let's explore living in your own house as a bad decision. When you live in your own house, you will need to steadily, on a steady basis, you will need to maintain the house, because the house that you build today, before you know it, 1 or 2 years time, there will be scratches on the wall. Give it some time, that same house will need repainting, maybe repainting the entire walls of the house. It might not be inside alone, maybe inside and outside. If you're living in your own house, you want to consider, number one, the maintenance cost, the cost of maintenance. Your house cannot keep looking as it was looking when you built it or when you bought it. You will need to constantly be maintaining it. One day you wake up and something is not working, you need to call an electrician to start to fix it. One day you wake up and one part of the roof is somehow, if you don't fix it, other things get spoiled. You will need to call a carpenter to come and look at it. The plumbing work sometimes will get broken. The bills is on you. Sometimes the tiles will shift. The bills is on you. You have to consistently maintain that structure. Whereas when you live in a rented apartment, there are levels of maintenance that will not be handled by you. Yes, I know you maintain your house, but the maintenance work that you will do in somebody else's house in a rented apartment is not the major maintenance work. It is the minor ones. So the major maintenance work will shift to the house owner. And when you consider the amount you spent in buying an apartment plus the amount you spent in maintaining it for, say, 5-10 years, when you consider that and compare it with the amount you will spend in a rented apartment, it cannot be equal to themselves at all. It cannot be equal to themselves. Say, for example, in a place like Lagos, say Lagos mainland, Yaba, Bagada, and the likes, for you to buy a plot of land in these places, or K2 or Jota, you'll be looking at 80 to 100 million naira, or even a little more, 120 million. So let's peg it at 100 million naira. You buy this land, you build a house on it, a decent house, say, plus another 40-50 million naira. So averagely, you're spending 150 million naira in acquiring a house. Now, plus cost of maintenance per year. let's assume that the cost of maintenance per year is about ₦1,000,000. It could be more, most likely always more, ₦1,000,000 for 10 years. You probably spent about ₦10,000,000 maintaining this house. Add it to the ₦150,000,000 that you've spent already in buying and building this house. That would be about ₦160,000,000 in 10 years. As against you renting a space, a 3-bedroom flat, it's a 3-bedroom flat, yes, in these areas I have mentioned will cost you about ₦2,000,000 per annum, ₦2.5 million per annum. Now, multiply that by 10. That's roughly ₦20-25 million, in the space of 10 years. And the maintenance you'll be doing will not be so much. You cannot spend ₦1,000,000 maintaining a rented apartment in a year. It's almost impossible. So let's say you spend about 300 to 500K per year in maintaining this rented apartment. You'll be spending about an additional ₦3,000,000 in the space of that 10 years. Add it to the ₦20,000,000 that you spent. That's just ₦23,000,000. You see, ₦23,000,000 in a rented apartment. So you've saved a whole lot of money. So the cost of maintenance is something to think about when you want to consider buying your own house or renting a space. Another thing you might want to consider, if you are living in your own house, you have limited mobility. Now, if I'm living in a rented apartment, I can easily make quick decisions as to, I need to leave Nigeria in the next 2 months. My decision will be very easy because the house is not mine. The only thing I'll be considering is moving my furniture out of the house. I could sell it, I could dash it out. It's easy to get rid of. Now, compare that to when I'm living in my own apartment. I can't leave my house like that. I would be endangering that house. I'll be considering, this investment, how will I leave it like this? Who do I hand over this house to? How do I sell it off and all? And a lot of the times you'll be under pressure and you make the wrong decision. Economically, you make the wrong decision. So you will not have the freedom to move. I need to be in South Africa for 2 years. I need to move my family to so and so place for some time and all. The mobility, the freedom to move is not there. Sometimes the environment is not even conducive for you. But because you have built your house there, you might have the money to rent a space away from that place, but you will not have the freedom of mobility to move because you'll be considering the fact that this is my house, so let me not leave it. And you are dying there. This is my house, let me not leave it. You are being flooded there. So your freedom of mobility is very, very limited when you choose to buy a house over renting one. And also, in places that are very volatile to government encroachment, like Lagos, place where the government can come today and say, okay, we are clearing off this part of, we are breaking the house and all. It's a higher risk level when it is your own house that they are breaking and not a rented apartment. The next thing you want to think about is the cost of renovation. And this is also related to the first point that I had made, maintenance, now renovation. If you check the trends of houses in this part of the world, Africa, we love trend a lot. We love competition. We love living our lives based on other people's standard. Today, the common houses that are being built in Lagos, Nigeria, you would have known them, the kind of houses in Lekki, Chevron and all that. Those are the trending houses now. And because we love trend a lot, many people want to renovate it, rebuild it into the present trend. Because if your house is not looking like what most houses are looking like, there is a perception that your status is not so high. So people want to keep maintaining a high societal status. Because of that, they want their houses to keep trending. So the houses that are being built now, in 5, 10, 15 years time or 20 years time, these designs will be outdated. people would have started building another pattern of houses, another style of houses. If you check well, every 10, 15, 20 years, the kind of houses that are being built changes, the pattern changes, the trend changes. If I want to build my house today, I will not go and pick from the designs of 10 years ago because those ones are old. Now, if you live in your own apartment, in the next 15, 20 years, you will start noticing that your house is looking odd among the houses in the community. And the next thing to do is that you would want to renovate it, which will even cost you more, right? But when you are in a rented apartment, those houses, when they start looking outdated, you have the freedom to move out of the house and go and rent a modern one as long as you have your money. You will not be the one to bear the cost and the pain, the stress, the headache of renovation. Having mentioned the advantages of renting a house outside of building a house, like I said, I'm not taking any side here. I'm just giving you the pros and cons of both so that you would now have to make your own decision. Now let's talk about the disadvantages of renting a house. When you choose to rent a house over building a house, be ready to face landlord wahala. Be ready to have people invade your privacy because it is not your house. A lot of uncertainties will come in. Your landlord can come up today and say, okay, I need to use my house and I need you out in 6 months or what have you. When your money expires, don't pay again. And you might not be ready financially to move out. You might not be ready emotionally to move out. A lot of things might be going on for you in that community that you do not have plans to move out at that moment. So when you choose to rent over buying or building, be ready for uncertainties from your landlord. Another thing you might want to consider as a disadvantage of renting over building is the fact that you do not have full control. You don't have full access, you don't have full control. You cannot control what your neighbors do in the house. You cannot control what happens in the compound. The only control you have is within your own flat, inside your own flat. Your neighbors could decide to throw a party. You have nothing to do. You cannot do anything against that. Your neighbors can decide to pray overnight and the noise is disturbing you. You go complain, tire. Your neighbors can decide to play music. You might not like the structure of the house. You can't pull it down. It's not your house. The house might be looking so old. You can't do anything about it. It's not your house. So you have limited control over the house when you choose to rent over building or buying your own house. The kind of structure or the situation of the house might not be suiting to you. To a large extent, you cannot do much about it. I remember staying in an apartment where I do not like what was happening with the roof. I did not like what was happening with the floor. But my landlord was willing to do nothing. And as a tenant, imagine me changing the whole roofings of the house. It does not make financial sense. Imagine me having to remove all the tiles and refloor the floor and then, replace the tiles. That's a lot of financial burden on me. My landlord was willing to do nothing, and I cannot do anything about it because it does not make financial sense on my part to be the one to do all this fixing. So there are a whole lot of discomforts that you would encounter if you choose to rent over building. If you're big on comfort, you're big on control, you are big on having full control, you are big on privacy, you might not be happy living in a rented apartment. You might want to go for building your own apartment. Now, let's look at the pros, the positive side of you building your own houses, building or buying your own house where you live in. It is a good emotional decision and then a good social decision. Let's look at your emotional life and that of your family, as well as your social life and that of your family. If you live in your own house, it will be comfortable for you. It will be comfortable to raise your kids. Imagine how children behave. They like shouting, they like making a noise, they like running around, they need space to play. And if you're not in your own space, they might be limited in that regard. Their social life might, have some limitation. You need a place to raise your kids long time. You want them to attend the same school or live in the same vicinity for a long time. You want them to live in a place long enough to make friends, socialize, form long-term relationship. Then you might consider building your own house, because you will not be able to live so long in rented apartments. A lot of factors will chase you out of that place, especially in a place like Lagos. The house might be sold under your nose. The rent might be outrageously increased, and you just have to move out. If your rent is increased by 50%, and 3 4 5 years time is increased by another 50%, you might be bearing it for a while, but a time will come you will not be able to pay again. You just have to move out. And when this happens, your children's academics will be affected, because your children will not be able to come to the same school again. Imagine you moving from point A to a place that is 10 miles away or 5 miles away. Your children cannot be coming to school in that area again. If you're a Christian, their church will change. The friends they've kept around that area in that church will change. The friends in your compound or the friends in the community, the relationships they're already building will change. If you're a Muslim, they would have to change their mosque. They will not be able to go to the same mosque that they attended before. Their schools will change. So all these things will not only affect you as a person, it will affect your children, their academics. It will affect their social life, the way they socialize, the people they socialize with, the friends that they've grown up with. They won't be able to continue friendship with these people. They will have to, start adapting to a new environment, having to learn new people and all that. Your children will not have the kind of social life that is healthy for them. When you choose to build your own house over rentage, you have a place you call home. You have a settlement where you can always come back to. Your spouse, your wife, your children will have that freedom, that level of freedom that you desire. When you own your own house, it gives you some sense of pride and fulfillment, especially in a place like Africa, where we believe that one of the measures, yardstick for measuring success, is by owning a house. So of course, is even if I do not believe in that, this is Africa and this is like a mindset here, and I'm sure that is probably like that in some part of the world. Also, it gives you the freedom of customization. You can wake up one day and say, I don't like the way my house is, I want to renovate it, I want to customize it, you have the freedom to do that. You have the freedom to bring your imaginations to reality, as long as you have the money to do so. It also gives you you have stability and ability to perform more. Your productivity seems to increase, and then you are more stable. You're not bothered about, oh, what happens when my rent is increased, where do I move to when the landlord sells this house. You're not bothered with that thought. You think long term in that community that you are in, and also you are more stable. You have a base. Real estate will always appreciate. So when you buy a property, when you live in a certain house, yeah, your building might be depreciating, but the land on which the property is seated on will always appreciate. You bought the land for 1 million, 10 million, 50 million. It will not remain that price in 5 10 years time. A time will come, you might decide, okay, you're done living in your own house, you want to make money off it and sell part of the land, for like times 20 of what you bought the entire land for, or even sell the entire land if you have other options. So real estate always appreciates. Your property, your land on which you are built on, will always appreciate. Another thing is you would live rent free. You're not bothering about rent anymore. You're not concerned about paying rent anymore. You want to think of legacy. You're leaving something behind for your children, for your family, for your grandchildren. You're laying down a legacy. So when you invest in real estate, you're not just investing into land, you are laying down legacy for your unborn children, for your grandchildren. Another thing that you stand to gain when you choose to buy your own house or build your own house is an improved quality of life. So if your house belongs to you, your quality of life will improve. You'll not be living like someone who might pack out the next day. There are some things that you know that you need in your house, but if you will not do it in a rented apartment because you're not thinking long term in that place. But the moment you've built your own houses or your own house, whatever you think that you need, you will do all you can to bring it to that house because the house belongs to you, as long as it will improve your quality of life. So you're more concerned about your quality of life than the longevity of how long you're staying in that place. Again, you would have the opportunity to be involved with community activities, landlord association, LCD association, and all of that. Different community engagements which are actually okay or good or for your status and all that. Also, there is this potential of renting out your house for income. Maybe a time comes and you feel like you need more money, or some part of the house is not useful to you again, that you just rent out a part, maybe renovate a little part into smaller apartments, and then rent it out to get rental income. Having said all this, the floor is open for you to either choose to rent or to buy a house. In all that I have said, I have not placed renting a house over buying a house. Neither have I placed buying a house over renting a house. Do you want to make bad financial decisions or a good emotional or social decisions? Look at the pros and cons of both owning a house and renting a house. Which of it is more important to you? Which of it is paramount to you? Which of it is peculiar to you and your family? Go for it. If you're concerned about, I want to make good financial decisions, I want to save more money, I want to raise capital for my business and all that, you might not consider building a house just yet. You might still be renting for the meantime until you've made enough money to build one. But if your concern is about, I want to be in a place for a long time, I want to have real estate stock somewhere so that it will appreciate for me, I want my children to have a stable environment, a stable social life and all that, then just go for building one or buying one if you have the financial strength for it. We place various options before you and guide you accordingly, right? Regarding real estate, it's up to you to choose the one that best fits your lifestyle and what you want. Do also like, follow and subscribe to our channel for more videos as this, educative videos, informative videos as this, to help you make good financial decisions. What do we do here? We guide you, educate you, we bring information to you regarding real estate, real estate talks, real estate investment opportunities, things that will make you more wealthy. So do well to like this video, comment on it. We love feedbacks. I know that I might not have said some things that are on your mind, so we need your contribution, your suggestion, your opinion on this topic. And please, I'm begging you, follow our page for more content like this one. Thanks and see you next time.